Hey guys, I don't know if you knew it or not, but we actually do sell t-shirts here for the YouTube channel. Now, I know you guys may like being nude, but here in the real world, we like wearing clothes. And what better way can you do that? By buying one of our t-shirts. So go to teespring.com and pick any of the shirts that you see us wear on the show, and you can be like us, not nude. Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news saga continues. I'm Terrence.
I'm Manny.
And we're not here to talk to you about The Mandalorian because Art didn't show up. But what we are here to talk to you about is the new slate of Star Wars stuff that's coming out within the next year or two that Disney actually released in their what do we call it? What were we calling this? The investor call. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about all the things that they had revealed to us, things that are coming up as far as TV shows, mostly TV shows, not many movies or anything that's coming out. Most of they're going to invest in TV. So, Manny, you have everything written down. So.
I got it. So Kathleen Kennedy came up and started updating all of the investors and everybody on some of the slate that was coming out, and as far as Star Wars, because there's like so many things now, spin-offs galore. So let's get into it. All right. So the new state of Star Wars is going to pretty much revolve around other characters, not just the ones that we're all used to. Obviously, Mandalorian Season 3 will premiere on Christmas Day 2021. What do you think?
I'm fine with that because, though it is a little late, we're used to it getting it like October. In the last, yeah. So like the last quarter of the year, we're used to getting it then. So the wait that long, I expect them to be doing something very big. Kind of like how Game of Thrones would make us wait a little bit longer each season because they're trying to get bigger and better each season. So I'm expecting big things for that season, but I do I wish it was at the same time because now the wait's so much longer and I have to just kind of sit on my hands until they actually get it out. So
okay, but if you really think about it, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, they made a crap load of money in December.
They did, but that was in the theaters.
I know. Just listen. Had they waited on Solo to be put on Christmas 2016.
We totally had this conversation where like they just screwed themselves.
They screwed themselves. It would have made just as much because Rogue One made just as much on December 16th, whatever it was, when it came out.
Star Wars is best around Christmas.
Around Christmas. Rise of Skywalker last year, same thing, December 19th, did fairly well. Not as good as the other ones, obviously.
Right.
But releasing Star Wars content on Christmas when everybody is together at home with their families is a surefire hit for subscribers to jump up. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. No,
it makes a forceful of sense.
It makes a lot. I feel like it makes a lot of sense for a film, but for a TV show, I feel like it didn't matter. Like we already had 2 seasons where they were doing fine, releasing in October. So.
Well, the thing that with that too, now that we say that. Exactly what you said is right. As a film, because it's one day, one shot, boom, you got it. But now you're going to pretty much stretch it because the holidays are going to be 2 weeks. That's 2 episodes.
All right.
If you go that route.
So I mean, also too, if you think about it too, it's like they're releasing in October. We still have 2 more episodes that will run us till Christmas anyway.
True. So what if the finale was on Christmas Day? That would have been awesome too. But
I think it's almost gonna be there. It's gonna be very close because they're gonna end right before Wonder Woman comes out. So whatever.
Okay, so episode The Jedi of the Mandalorian introduced Ahsoka Tano and the fan cast So the fan casting of Rosario Dawson was a really big hit, and obviously she did not disappoint.
The episode was great. The
episode was fantastic. She was phenomenal. So much so that Ahsoka, the spin-off series, is happening as well.
We kind of figured that by casting Rosario Dawson that they had to do something. They couldn't just do her in one episode and just leave it there.
But I think
it's kind of like Gina Carano got brought back for the next season. So she got multiple episodes. She got brought back for the next season. You can't see them signing Rosario Dawson and it's like, hey, do your one Jedi episode and then we're done.
But it was also based on her performance. She was amazing.
No, she was. It was she wanted to play the role. The fans were behind her playing the role, and they did a great job in what they did. Dave Filoni did an amazing job because he loves this particular character. That's why he had her throughout Rebels. So I'm excited to see what they're doing, especially if they're going to kind of continue this whole thread with her and, trying to track down Thrawn. Because everybody's been wanting the whole Thrawn to appear in this particular universe since he had been talked about in the books and some of the Legends canon. I'm okay with them doing that. I mean, they hinted to it in her episode, so if they kind of explore that, I do almost feel though that it's going to just become, like I was telling Art, like Rebels 2.0.
You're right. And I think I think Thrawn is the perfect character to be the antagonist around this whole little universe.
I would like it better if Moff Gideon was somehow tied to Thrawn.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Don't because right now Ahsoka's actually taking place around the same timeline as Mandalorian, so you can look for a crossover.
It
eventually.
will explain why she wasn't there to help out in the sequel canon, but didn't explain why nobody else was there.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right, winter 2021. And may have you talked about the introduction of Thrawn, maybe introduction to Ezra into live action.
Once again, Rebels 2.0.
Rebels 2.0. All right. Rangers of the New Republic. Also same timeline. This one I honestly don't think you need.
What is this one supposed to be
I
about
want to
again?
say this is more like a Rogue Squadron, which we'll get into that in a minute. But kind
Oh,
of
this
like
is talking about them policing the galaxy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
and you got a glimpse of them in the Mandalorian when they help him in the ice,
Yeah.
when he was in the ice. So it's basically those guys more or less.
I feel like
I don't think you need this,
It was
though.
an interesting look at what the Republic was doing, and in this kind of unsecured kind of Wild West things, since now we've just destroyed the Empire and we're trying to settle things. It's cool, but I don't know how you tell that story every week.
Exactly. I mean, there's certain adventures you can go on.
The Republic Police is here to kind of shut this stuff down.
It's cops for Star Wars.
It is cops. Ooh, can they do it first person and little shaky cams and
bad boys, bad boys.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You really don't need this one. Maybe they may not go through this one, but then they might, because they didn't go through with, we think about the MCU. They never went through with damage control, and they were really on board with damage control.
Okay.
So
Number one Star Wars show.
number one Star Wars show.
Lando.
Are we getting?
It's either gonna be.
Are we getting Dong Lover?
It could be either Dong Lover, or it could be Billy D.
Don't. Look, it better be Donald Glover or nothing. I'm out. If you go actual, oh God bless.
if Billy D comes out to introduce or to talk about his stories,
If you flashback
it
yeah.
and it's Dong Lover, then I'm good with it. Okay,
But
kind of
we're
like he's the
talking-
new Crypt Keeper, and he's gonna introduce the show.
If you have him show up, yeah, right? That's funny. Let me tell you about a time back in the day when
Billie
when
Holiday. Oh wait, wrong movie.
when I saved the galaxy. This perm, the space perm. Let me tell you about that. So then, if they flash back to it,
Hoth 45.
Hot 45
Coming
works
at
every
you.
time.
Works every time.
If they start off by him being old and then he flashback to stories about his
think
life,
that could work.
That could work.
I think that
but
could work.
it cannot be him doing episodes every week. I don't want to see that.
Okay.
Look, give Donald Glover another property. Look, ATO is gonna eventually run out. Let him transition over to Lando. I'm good
But
with that.
he does have
we
his
accept,
comedy.
we accepted him in the Han Solo film. So I'm okay with him being Lando Calrissian, for at least a young version of him.
I just don't know. I don't know if he would because he's got stand up.
Yeah.
He's got his music.
Yes.
He has potential to be in the MCU as the Prowler.
Right.
It's a
I
possibility.
mean, technically, he is the Prowler. They just
Technically,
said-
he is the Prowler. So you got that possibility. That would be a lot for that guy. So don't be surprised for a recast. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be
I don't
surprised.
want to recast.
I don't want it
What
either.
I don't want is them continuing that thread where at the end of what was the last one called? The Rise of Skywalker. I don't want that continuing thread where they were like, and where are you from? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't want to find out.
Poor Jenna.
I
Nobody
don't,
cares about Jenna. All right.
because like she's supposed to be related to him. That's
Well,
supposed to
you
be like an
can't-
illegitimate kid.
Well, you can't. Well, that's a possibility too, because
That's
this
like, I don't want- I don't wanna
this
see
will
that.
probably take place in the past. So I don't.
I would rather see
All
the
right.
past. I don't want to see the current time.
All right, the Acolyte. This takes place 200 years before Phantom Menace.
This is about the Sith, right?
Young Yoda maybe appears, maybe.
I thought this was about the Sith. The series about the Sith.
I believe so, but it's like I said, it's 200 years before Phantom Menace.
I mean, he was alive then.
Right. So young Yoda, Darth.
I want
Plagueis.
I want to explore more of the Ruler 2.
Okay.
I would like the Ruler 2. I want to explore more of the Ruler 2. So we haven't seen, outside of the little bit we saw with Palpatine or Sidious and
Sith? Revenge of the Sith?
Maul was.
Phantom Menace?
Yeah, no. So Maul and Sidious. That's literally.
The beginning of the Rule of Two, don't you think?
Yeah. So or
is it Plagueis in?
No, it's Plagueis. But so that's all we really got to see of like the Sith dynamic. We got a little bit with Tyrannus, and but it was really him trying to court Anakin there, and it was like, so I want to see more of like the inner workings of how the Sith and the Ruler 2 work.
Okay.
What's going on with the rest of the Sith? I mean, obviously, there's only 2 that can be trained, that can be together. Who else are dabbling in the dark side of the Force? The Acolyte is one of the ones I'm really excited about. So.
Okay. Andor. This is Diego
Cassian,
Luna.
yeah, Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
No,
Diego,
it's called Andor, but it's called Cassian Andor. Right?
Prequel to Rogue One. K2SO will return.
At the
What do
time
you
this
think?
was originally announced, I was excited about it. Now I kind of feel like, do we still really even need this?
And Diego Luna just resembles Pedro Pascal.
He does. Can they make him the young Mandalorian? He kind of does. He kind of does.
I don't know about that one, but more than likely,
I feel like because of all the other things that they announced, I don't think this is as important as it was when Rogue One first came out. When Rogue One first came out, it was like, oh, we get more information about Cassian Andor, what he did before we got to Rogue One, and he died. But now, because they waited so damn long and they've announced all this other stuff, I don't think we really even need this show anymore.
I don't think so either. Speaking of shows you don't need, Droid Story, animated.
Did we not learn from the very first Droids?
Yeah. It was kind of a hit on Saturday mornings.
Did you watch Droids?
Yeah.
I didn't watch Droids. Literally, when Droids came on, I changed the channel. I didn't want to.
It's an animated film. It's probably
so what droids are gonna be in?
R2 for sure. Oh, excuse me, C-3PO probably.
We already did that. We already did that show.
And there's gonna be BB-8 maybe. You never know. You just don't know what the timeline is. I don't know.
If it's about BB-8, maybe.
And Dio or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah. Maybe about that. I don't want to see another R2 C3PO show. It's like we already saw that show. We saw that show in the 80s. I don't want to see that show again.
All right. The Bad Batch. That I do want to see.
I do want to see that one, even though I'm still.
It's still animated, but yes, the Bad Batch.
I'm still trying to figure out okay, and I know they showed them in Rebels too, but like they are like
they're special
unrefined clones.
They're special clone troopers.
But they look nothing like Tamir Morrison.
Yeah, they're all rejects basically, but they all bring.
They're such a reject that they look nothing like him.
Yeah, but they all have a special set of skills.
Yes,
so
a particular set of skills.
Exactly. And Palpatine is to appear in this animated.
It's fine. I mean, from what I've seen of it, it's
I wouldn't
interesting.
mind.
I'll take a look.
Okay. This is one I think you'd appreciate, and this is called Visions. Kind of like similar to the What Ifs, maybe.
The What Ifs.
But this is Visions, original shorts, Japanese anime.
Okay, that might be interesting.
They
actually did do What Ifs in Star Wars.
Yes, I know, I saw that.
So, I like it when they take a property, especially something that's animated, and they give it to other like animators and let them do their style and tell their stories, like Animatrix, stuff that was like, it's more anthology, and it was like, hey, this is this particular person's vision of this particular universe and how they would do it. I like those type of stories, or like those type of shows where they just kind of like everything's different every time, or like the Batman one that they did.
The Batman Ninja, Gotham.
Well, not the Batman Ninja, but they also did like an anthology one where every time they had a different animator, and they had like multiple stories, and they just told a bunch of stories of how people were around, like how their experience with Batman was.
Right.
So I like those two particular stories.
Okay.
So if this is something like that, I'm definitely on board for it.
Okay. The one that, as far when there comes to the movies, obviously Taika Waititi's movie is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Rian Johnson's, it's not a for sure thing that it's canceled or not.
Right. I heard they canceled.
The Adventures of the Broom Boy, we don't know if it's going to happen or not.
I heard they canceled Whedon's though. Was it Whedon's?
I think it's a possibility. but Waititi's for sure. They brought up Rogue Squadron. Now this is an original
This is
story.
Kathleen Kennedy's one, right?
No, this is Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins, sorry.
Yeah, this is Patty Jenkins' movie that she's gonna helm. She took it. It's an original story. You're not gonna really see.
Is there an invisible jet in it?
No. An invisible X-wing.
An invisible X-wing.
A lot of the passion that she got was, one, she loved Star Wars, and two, her father was a fighter pilot. So you have all of that as far as from a passion project. I think that's probably what it's best called.
Yeah, because
a passion project.
The clip that she showed was like
it was really good. Like,
yeah.
damn, that's how you bump a movie, man.
Yeah.
She's gonna go onto an X-wing.
Yeah.
It was just freaking awesome, and the fact that it's gonna be an original story with no pressures from tying to anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is.
I don't believe they're gonna tie it to something.
So
they're definitely gonna tie.
I wasn't a fan of the Squadrons game. I wasn't really that much of a fan of it, but this one could be interesting.
So this is the difference. So this one's going to be an actual movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how is this different from the one where we're the Ranger one? How is this different from the Ranger one?
It could be a possible tie. It could be in a different timeline. There's a lot
because
of
I'm
different
assuming
ways
the Ranger one, from what we've seen in Mandalorian, is going to be like X-wing pilots that are out policing the galaxy.
But this
so
is also
Rogue Squadron is like, are they gonna like? Is this going to take place during the rebellion, to where they're doing like a mission, or is it going to take place afterwards, where once again they're policing the galaxy?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It all depends on the timeline. I don't know what the timeline is.
That's the only thing about
because
I feel like
one
this could be too close to the Rangers one.
One is Mandalorian timeline, which is about 6 years after Jedi.
Right.
And then the other one, either it could be maybe around the time of Battle of Jakku, or it could be after freaking everything that happened after the First Order.
If that's the case, then how are we not tying this into anything?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So
Patty's got some work to do.
If you put this in a specific timeline, then it's tied to that timeline. It's like you either put it further out or further in the beginning.
All right.
So, and further in the beginning, there was no rebellion. So further out, it's tied to something.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, probably the most anticipated series.
Yes.
Now that we know that Hayden Christensen is returning as Darth Vader.
Don't like that.
Now,
Don't like that.
okay, why?
I don't like that.
Why?
Because at this point, he is in the costume. He is Vader. He's wearing the helmet. He's got the... What do I need Hayden Christensen for? You know who I need for this? James Earl Jones. I need a stuntman and
No,
to
voice.
talk.
He's the voice.
To talk. I need James Earl Jones to talk, and I need a stuntman and the costume. I don't need Hayden Christensen. What is he gonna take his helmet off to show that he's burned? Why do I need Hayden Christensen to be burnt up?
Okay.
By the way, he hadn't seen Vader since Mustafar until episode 4.
But we don't know.
He has they literally said that he has not seen him since then. He was like, "Oh, my old student." Like, look, it wasn't like I saw you last week. Hey, my old student. No, it was like I haven't seen you since I cut your legs off.
This takes place. I want to say this supposedly takes
And
place.
I had the high ground.
This is. And you said I was holding you back. I want to say this takes place 10 years after Sith. I'm not sure. That's a possibility. I'm not sure. But he is back. I'm excited for him to be back.
I'm excited for him to be back, but he should have been back in.
He should have been back for
sequel trilogy.
No. He should have been back for Rogue One. When he had.
He was still in the costume. I don't need him. I need James Earl Jones.
Can you imagine if you would have if when Krennic goes over to Mustafar and he's in the freaking Bacta tank and it's freaking Hayden? Can you imagine the freaking, or when the helmet's coming down and it's Hayden's face? I mean, can you imagine that would now that's continuity for your ass right there.
I mean, yes, but it would have been a brief moment. I knew the more important part of that scene was James Earl Jones and the fight scene at the end. That's all we needed. I needed Hayden for the sequel trilogy.
Okay, so
I needed him to return as a Force ghost to talk to Kylo.
Okay,
that's what I needed.
I got you, and I agree with you on that. I agree with you. You know, the whole on your left again,
Yes.
same scene from Endgame. Okay, now I agree with you. So, but there was some fan art that I saw that actually threw new versions of Vader in it, and I've not read any comics where Vader changes Like he
seems like the costume,
at times he has the human face and a robe and the robe over and the hood over and all of that. I've never seen anything like that before ever. So I don't know if they can do that.
So here's the thing: it's like they screwed it up in episode 3. If they want to do that, episode 3,
because he can't breathe without that thing. So
yes.
if
they had done that, if they had done like a prototype costume in episode 3,
I agree.
Then yeah, we could do all this whole shit with Anakin.
I agree with you.
But they said Vader.
Yeah.
Regular costume at the end of 3.
And
so it's like now it's like what's the point?
Selling point for Sith. Selling point.
Yes.
Make all this money.
Yeah, I know, but like
just because Vader's in it.
At that point, it's like it doesn't make sense to bring Hayden back.
There's gonna be
call James Earl Jones up because he ain't doing another Lion King. Call James Earl Jones up.
Actually,
and say,
he is. Well, he possibly is.
Lion King 1.5.
The prequel.
Live action Lion King 1.5.
The prequel.
That was Lion King 1.5.
Oh yeah. All right. Best Star Wars show ever. Okay.
No, it was actually Lion King 1.5. But I think was like the sequel to the.
But I think that I agree with you. James Earl Jones should be there.
Yes.
But I think
so he takes helmet off and it's Hayden, and then he puts helmet back.
Exactly, it's James Earl Jones.
That's stupid. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's too complicated. I don't want to do that. Why does his voice keep changing? I don't want to do that.
Obi-Wan told me back.
Obi-Wan told me back. Told me back. Put a stuntman in the costume. You know, unless they do. He has visions of Hayden and back when he was training him. If they want to do that, but do not put him in the Vader costume. That's stupid. It's stupid.
I mean, he's grown. He's not as because when Hayden was actually in the Vader costume, you gotta admit Vader looked really skinny.
He did.
And like the suit was too big.
Give me a stunt actor.
So,
look, if you're bringing Hayden back for this, have him do like, I'm remembering.
Well, there are a lot of Vader comics where he is reminiscing and he is thinking about Padme and he is like there's like so many side missions they can even do with him because
even Vader remembering. It's like, oh, I remember that time I told her about how much I hate sand and I murdered all of the sand people, but yet she still thought it was hot. It's like if they want to do that, like where Vader is remembering himself as Anakin, or Obi-Wan's remembering times that they did training and they're bringing Hayden back for that. I'm okay with that.
Or when Hayden,
do not put him in this costume and have him do the voice. Give me.
I don't think it's but he didn't do the voice.
Give me a stuntman and James Earl Jones.
He didn't do the voice on Sith anyway.
I know, but they put him in a costume.
Yes, he was in the costume.
I don't want him in a costume. I
think honestly,
I want a stuntman.
I think there's going to be a different version of Vader in this. That's what I'm thinking. Or they're going to show him burnt at some point where he's talking to Palpatine or whoever.
Burnt in a bunch of flashbacks. I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
I don't want him in a costume at all. I kind of just skip that stuff and just like you should have put him in the sequel trilogy.
But it's fitting because Ewan McGregor made a comment as far as
he was happy to work with him.
That he was happy to work with him, but that they plan on going at it again. So we'll see how that works.
Then it throws off the whole.
We'll see how they execute it first.
I know it's been a long time since I said I saw you, but I know it was like last week. But it's been a long.
Well, he was already senile, bro. It was the freaking son from Tatooine that burned him up.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's kind of like a pretty good homage if you really think about it to introduce Vader in this new show because David Prowse just died and that's a pretty good honor for him to honor him in a way. So I mean you have a little bit of both because you bring Hayden back and you honor David Prowse. Why not?
We already talked about what I wanted for this particular show. I wanted Maul.
I wanted Bane, but oh well.
I wanted Maul. I wanted Maul to get another shot at Obi-Wan.
Well, who says it can't happen?
They cast Hayden.
Terrence, take us home.
I wanted Maul.
Maul your ass on Earth.
They left it open in Solo. That Maul was still out there with his robot legs, and I know we addressed it in some Clone Wars and even some Rebel stuff. But still, this would be a great way to say, hey, let Obi-Wan and Maul have their. I mean, he can't die here this way, but we know how he goes in Rebels. But let him have another fight. Let him have another full fight. I would have been great to see that. Let him be the.
Before you take us home, I gotta ask you this. So you saw that whole slate, and there were a few that were not needed.
Right, Cassian Andor is not needed. the droids is not needed.
The droids not needed. The Republic one, the Rangers.
Yeah.
It's not needed.
I mean, I think that's one of those things where they're gonna kind of like, do we want to spend money on this? No.
Is this watering down Star Wars a little bit?
No, because I wouldn't.
Compared to the slate of Marvels.
Well, no, because I think they've been back a while. Kathleen Kennedy said that when they were doing the sequel trilogy, they had a bunch of different like things that they were looking to do. So when I first get the slate, I'm like, okay, these are all the things that they were thinking about doing, but they put on hold when Solo didn't make the money that they wanted it to
Which
make.
is their fault.
Yeah, it is. So when it didn't make the money, they just put all of this stuff on hold. Now they feel like enough time has gone by that they could try again. But since it's all TV shows, you can course correct anything that's not working out in a TV show that you can't do in a movie. In a movie, it's a beginning and there's a finale, right? Mm-hmm. So with a TV show, you got multiple seasons. So in the first season, it was like, people don't know like where we're going with this. Season 2, we can kind of switch that up and change it and kind of get back to maybe what's a little bit more thing. Or because they do the season fully. We're not going to be like, hey, here's like the first couple episodes, we're still filming and we can kind of change it up mid-season. That's fine. I mean, we can't do that. But season 2, we can do something different. Season 3, we can do something different. We were talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on another show before. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. made changes when they realized that they weren't going to really be part of the MCU. They changed their format and what they were going to be doing. So things that don't work, you can change in a TV series that you can't change in a movie. So I'm okay with them all being TV series, especially when they're introducing new properties, because you have to tell so much of a story about this thing to get people on board with being able to see it. Fine with that. Mandalorian proved that we really are okay with seeing a TV show with a high budget.
And I think that you're right, because all of the plans that they had for all of these spin-offs, truthfully, only Rogue One worked.
Yeah.
So
I actually like Solo. I don't know why.
I like Solo too.
It released at the wrong time. It would have made more money if it had released at Christmas.
It was released 6 months after Last Jedi. Yeah. That's freaking Star Wars fatigue right there. Give it to December. Yeah, when we've talked about it countless times on that. But because you're so limited with what you can do on a film, to where you can, like you said, change everything up. I think this is probably the best way to go. I just don't want them to put too much out there and water it down. That's the biggest thing.
Dude, how much they paid $4 million for this? They just, trust me, they're gonna try to get their money back. They're gonna try to get their money back.
Well, they got half of it back with Force Awakens. Come on, take us home.
We got to get more money. Anyway, so if you feel like I feel there's never enough Star Wars, make sure you put it down in the comments below, because I have conversations with people that are Star Wars fans and they yell at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. But so I know you guys are anxious. Literally, there was a conversation that I had and they were just like, the internet trolls just like attacked me and I was like, I'm off the internet now. So make sure you put it in the comments below. But also too, if you love the #1 Star Wars show on YouTube, if you're counting backwards, please make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other things that we do on the channel. Maybe one day we'll get back to actually reviewing the episodes of Mandalorian if Art wants to show it.
That's right. So speaking of, wherever the hell Art is, Aspen in New York, Carlo over here using the Force, meditating like Grogu. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And may the Force be with you.
Always. Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts, there's...
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out.